Welcome to Mother Daughter Projects. I'm Steph.
I'm Vicki.
In SDIYers, we use a lot of chemicals, and one of our favorites is actually Wet and Forget. Now, this is a product that you spray in your house, sidewalk, bricks, and as it rains, it cleans those items, and so it's basically a no-scrub cleaning, which we like. And we've been using it for years, and over the last few years, we've been using this product, which is their hose end, Wet and Forget. So basically, you plug your hose into it, and you don't need to do any mixing. It just automatically mixes it when you spray it on your house or whatever. But recently, Mom had a little issue.
I had a big issue with the product. At the end of the summer, I decided to wet and forget my roof and other parts of my house, and I got it all hooked up, and I put the hose in there and got ready, and I was standing in front of the house, and I pulled that trigger, and it just splashed everywhere, into my eyes, onto my clothes. It was just a big mess. And at the time, I just thought, it was my mistake. It was something that maybe I didn't connect it well enough. And I just thought, okay, didn't think anything about it. It was my mistake.
So that was August, and fast forward to December 2023, we got a email that the product has actually been recalled. So that was very interesting to us because the exact issue that is being recalled for happened to Mom. So basically, this is the product, and this part right here, the nozzle, is what's being recalled. So the product is all good, but the nozzle can dislodge and it caused skin and eye irritation, which Mom is familiar with. And by the way, the next day after Mom did the spraying, I come over and we're in the garage and she walks out and I say, "What happened to your eye?"
It was actually quite funny because I hadn't noticed anything. So she's like, okay, don't freak out. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to show it to you. So she shows it to me. You can see it right here. It was bad. I don't know how I didn't notice that. But anyway, she took a picture of it. And then the next morning, I took another picture and I was scheduled to see the doctor that day because, it was an eye injury. And when the doctor saw the two pictures plus the look of my eye, it looked like it had started to heal already. So we just took a wait and see attitude. And as it turned out, I was actually fine.
But we definitely have reason to get the new nozzles for the recall because A, you need to, and B, this has actually happened to us. So we have both already ordered the nozzle. It's a very straightforward process. You just click on the link, you put in your information, they're going to send us a new nozzle. And so once we get that, we'll probably also share kind of that process and also using the product again because we still really like the product and we are really happy that they voluntarily recalled this product to make sure it was nice and safe for everybody. What we learned.
Well, you know what? We learned a whole lot of stuff. And the biggest one for me was to wear the appropriate PPE, things like eye protection. I should have been wearing a mask. I should have been wearing gloves. And it made me really mad that I didn't take the time to do that because I almost always do that. And I don't know, I guess I got in a hurry. So I guess the lesson here, don't get in a hurry. Make sure you wear all that stuff.
Also, really, I think all chemicals come with an SDS sheet, which shows you any kind of hazards with it. And if you get it on yourself, how to clean it off. So it'd be a good idea to know that before something like this happens.
Well, and I did not have that information. And I did a quick look at the back of the bottle. Didn't see it right off. Again, I'm dealing with all this stuff in my eyes. And I did end up having to go to the website and find it. You just need to know that information ahead of time because even if you're wearing the appropriate PPE, there could be an accident. So just know ahead of time what you need to do in case of an emergency.
Now, we bought a couple of these products before. This one, almost all the chemicals out, but there's still some in there, so that's why I'm getting the new nozzle. But we ordered it from Amazon, from Costco, and so we actually got an email from both of those companies alerting us to the recall. So we learned that when we buy products like this, it's a good idea to buy it from a company that has our email address so we can get alerted right away.
And lastly, I really thought this was my mistake, and as it turned out, it was something that was happening to other people. So if you're using a product, a tool, or a chemical, or whatever, and you have some kind of weird thing happen, go ahead and contact that company because if they get enough of those kinds of notices, that's what will trigger a recall. And so exactly what happened here with Wet and Forget.
So if you use the Wet and Forget product, let us know. If you have this hose end and you've done the recall, already submitted the recall, let us know. And like I said, we're going to continue to use Wet and Forget because it is a great product, but we will always wear our safety protection. All right, well, thanks for joining us. If you want to see more projects from us, be sure to visit us at motherdaughterprojects.com. All right, see you next time.
Bye. Bye.